Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. Not really surprising news. Eddie Hearn has announced a partnership where he will stage fights in the Middle East in Abu Dhabi, starting with Ramirez against Bivol in a light heavyweight fight, world title fight, which is a good fight, by the way. I'm looking forward to that. Is it the end of boxing how we know it? And what I mean by that is, all the big nights in Vegas, in England, in Europe, and the traditional big boxing nights, are they going to be replaced with fights in the Middle East? Now, this channel's not anti-Middle East. It's boxing. The bone of contention for me is, if you're going to support a fighter from the beginning of their careers and you're going to be with them through the whole journey, yet when they get to world title level or the big fights, they're just going to be aired in the Middle East. Like, I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair for the fans. Now, I can see the pros and cons. Obviously, the pros are Eddie will be making a lot of money, which is why he's doing it. Matchroom fighters, I presume, will be getting more money. I can't confirm that because I'm not their promoter, but I presume they will be. They'll be getting bigger purses, which is always good. Fighters getting more money. But do the fans lose out? And as I've said on previous videos, it's the atmosphere, it's the promotion. You know, when you've been paid a big purse and when you've been paid a big amount of money before the fight, there's not really that much urgency to promote. You know, you're not going to get Derek Chisora thrown on the table, right? If he's been paid millions of pounds before he's even got in the ring, so you lose a little bit of that, the promotion. The atmosphere at these events, are they true boxing fans going? Zurdo Ramirez has been built up in America and Mexico. I believe it's America where they have a big Hispanic community. You know, are they going to go to Abu Dhabi and support Ramirez? Bivol's from Russia. Let's not even talk about that. But you know what I mean, don't you? Is it the start now of Eddie basically just putting all events on the Middle East? I think it will lead to that. I think... you know, I always say Eddie's a great promoter. He is. He's one of the best in the world. Fantastic promoter. But as I always say, I'm not going to be yes, Eddie. Right? I think he's shown his loyalty to Sky by jumping ship, leaving them with absolutely nothing. So he's not going to be bothered about leaving the zone. He'll leave the zone. It's not going to be an issue to him. If his contract runs out, he'll jump ship if he has to. He's proved he's already done that. I think he'll end up just being an ambassador for Middle East boxing, and eventually, I think all of Matchroom will be fighting in the Middle East. I think that's the way it's going. Because if he's, as I always say with DAZN, right, in regards to boxing, the past few months actually, I've changed my mind a little bit. I'll tell you why. But DAZN as a boxing product, I think it's fantastic in regards to what you get, you value for money. I think for £10 a month for what you were getting with Wood Lara, Canelo Triple G, AJ Usyk, you know, you can't really complain. But I am having doubts with them now, especially after that circus they put on Saturday and the way they covered it. You would have seen my last video. I've ranted about that. I do have concerns about them. They've shown they're not really bothered about boxing. They're just bothered about making money. And that's fine. If you're a business, that's fine. But boxing's a little bit different. You're relying on fans to buy into you. You know, DAZN came along on the premise of they're the new home of boxing. No pay-per-view. All fights that should have been on pay-per-view is going to be on a subscription service. Yet they're putting YouTuber fights on pay-per-view and they're putting the big fights on in the Middle East. So really, they've changed course. It's not really taken off for them. I think the only play for them in town is Middle Eastern money. They need to recoup some of the money they're literally shelling out. Where do you think it comes from? It doesn't come from a tree. Somewhere along the road, someone's going to want some money back or to stop losing some money. They've just signed AJ to an incredible amount of money. It's coming from somewhere. It's not coming from Eddie. It's coming from DAZN, isn't it? So they need something. They need to recoup some money back. Middle East is perfect. They're going to overpay, right? They've got their agendas. Let's not gloss over it. However, boxing is not the only sport that does it. So I can't be a hypocrite. I watch football. Newcastle United taken over by a state, City, PSG. So, you know, I can't sit here and bash them when I watch football, when football are doing the same. So it's happening in sports, it's happening in golf, it's happening in tennis. So I understand it, right? But as I say, the problem for me is are you going to lose that traditional fan base? Because if Eddie does start putting the majority of the fights on in the Middle East, how are you going to support a local fighter? Johnny Fisher, for example, right? Now, I'm not saying Johnny Fisher is going to be the next coming of Lennox Lewis or Tyson Fury, right? But he's a strong heavyweight and he's got a great fan base. People generally like him. People like his old man, John. I speak to him on their social media. He's a character. Nice bloke, right? And you bought into those stories. You know, you want to see Johnny Fisher do well because, as I posted a few weeks ago, they're like everyone's family you meet on holiday. They're like your next door neighbours. You know, you buy into the journey. You want to support them. Are we going to lose that element, right? If all matchroom fighters are fighting in the Middle East now, yes, that's not happening now. But as the title says, and so it begins, it's starting to go that way, isn't it? I generally believe, as I've said before, I think Eddie will just have a deal with a state in the Middle East to wear all the fights there. That wouldn't surprise me. The majority of the fights there. And for me, boxing fans are losing out. The true fans are losing out. Eddie might be making more money. Fantastic for him. DAZN might be making more money. Great for them. But the fans, the true fans who support these fighters, who get the fighters to this stage, because believe you me, without any fan base, without people buying your tickets, without people viewing your content online, you're not going to get these offers, are you, from these states? So I think it's the true fans that lose out. I mean, HBO have gone from the sport. I think they were such a bad loss. Their boxing coverage was unbelievable. You miss their boxing coverage, you know. You really do. The great nights on HBO, you miss that. Does it create the path, though, for new promoters to come in and for people with new ideas? Because I generally think boxing needs new promoters. They do. Right, I'm sick of seeing the same people. It's like an old men's club. It's the same people with the same opinions doing the same things. Right, and that's why I like Ben Shalom. Because yes, okay, Ben Shalom, there's only so much he can do, right? You know, there's people say he's a company man and Sky won't create a monster like they did with Eddie and all that. I understand all that. But I generally think that Ben Shalom actually cares about growing the sport in some way. I do. Yes, he's not going to come out and give his real opinion. He's always going to stick to a type of script. And he's going to be politically correct. He's that guy, right? And that's fine. It's okay, right? But I like what he's doing. I do. Is it over trying with Sky? Sky are going down a certain route, aren't they? You know, everything's politically correct type thing. So, look, he's got a Sky contract. He has to act a certain way. But I generally think he has a plan and a vision, right, of what he wants to do. I think with Eddie, I think the difference with Eddie and Ben Shalom is, and this is not me hating on Eddie. Eddie, as I say, is one of the best promoters. But Ben Shalom started boxer from nothing, right? Never had a Sky deal. Who was putting on boxer shows in like local ice rinks, right? He never started off from day one from Sky. And let's get it right, Matchroom was started way before Eddie Hearn came along. Stadium fights came along way before Eddie Hearn came along. Yes, Eddie took it to the next level, but he's not created that, where Ben Shalom has created it from nothing. So I think there was a lot to be said for that, right? And when you do something from nothing, you want to stick to the vision. Now, I mean, if the Saudis or the Middle East offered Ben Shalom a lot of money, am I going to sit here and say he won't take it? I don't know. But I generally think he wants to support local fighters and he has a vision. Like, I believe that. I think with Eddie, I think maybe it's time new people do come along. Now, in regards to Matchroom, they're a fucking great promotional outlet. They are. No one says a bad word against them. But let's get it right. Lawrence Okoli wouldn't have left a few years ago, would he? You know? And I know it's just Lawrence Okoli, but the issue has always been with DAZN. It's not taking off like they hoped, right? Which is why they're putting YouTube events on pay-per-view. They're desperate, aren't they? So, as I say, they're trying to recoup the money back. That's what they're trying to do. And I just think it's the beginning of. I just think, where does it end? If it's a few fights a year in the Middle East, I don't have an issue with it. I don't. As I say, boxing's universal. The atmosphere's not great. It's not. It ruins the event. It does. You're not getting true fans there. You're not getting fans of both. You're not getting both sets of fighters fans there. You're just not getting that. So there's no urgency from the crowd. And I just don't know really what to say. It was always heading this way with Eddie. He was gallivanting around, doing his conkers in, trying to get Fury and AJ there. There's 2 British fighters, by the way, trying to put that on the Saudi. So he's trying to take that away from the fans. He's been desperate to put other fights there. He's put AJ Ruiz, Usyk, AJ. Wouldn't surprise me if all of AJ's fights are on in Abu Dhabi. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. They've paid them a lot of money, haven't they? So again, they need to recoup some of that money back. So it's really starting to fit in now. The outlandish money coming, especially with AJ. Where's that money come from? Has that come from knowing that the Middle East are going to invest? Have the Middle East said, look, we'll throw money at AJ. We'll put some money into this. What we want you to sign here. We want to sign you up to an exclusive deal where you have so many fights here. I don't know. I'm only speculating. Eddie will dress it up as, he's growing the sport and it's amazing and it's this, they're doing that. He'll dress it up as all that, but we know it's just for money, right? We do know that. And as I said on previous videos, what happens with this now is you're going to get other fighters spitting a dummy out. Tyson Fury, I'm not fighting unless I get 500 million. Right, we all know that's the Middle East. Frank Warren's gallivanting now, doing everything he can, begging for the Middle East to throw money at him. That's what he's doing. So it's a chain reaction now, isn't it? So everyone's gonna want that money. They're gonna want to be paid. And is it good for boxing or is it bad for boxing? It's good for boxing that you're gonna get good fights. But when the good fights are happening in crap atmospheres, and the promotion ain't great, and you can't actually go to the fights, then I don't think it's good for boxing. Not from a fan's point of view. I don't think it is. I don't. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think. I don't know if you think the same. I don't know. Do you think it's good? Do you not care? Do you just want to see fights? You're not bothered if you can't watch them. So it's a debate, isn't it? It's going to keep going on, but I do think this is the beginning where you will see a lot more fights heading to the Middle East because the pricing people out in the market, the big traditional boxing nights that we've come accustomed to are, unfortunately, they're fading away. What can you do? Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you think it's the beginning of the end of boxing, or do you think it's the dawn of a new beginning? Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.